Hi students, uh, last video we seen the nuclear forces, properties and discovery of neutron, right? Okay. In this video we'll cover some definitions required to make the calculation part, to study about the nucleus, to study about the stability of nucleus, why the nucleus are made into split, that is nuclear reactions, why that nucleus is making the nuclear reactions, why that nucleus is unstable. In order to get the stability, what is the requirement is that when you can be say that the nucleus is said to be a stable one, correct? What is endothermic, exothermic nuclear reactions? So that type of observations we can be seen. So before all those, we need to know some of the definitions in this topic, right? Or in this regard, we require definitions. So for that, we can be having here the first one is here we have this atomic mass unit, that is AMU, atomic mass unit, atomic mass unit. So what is the definition for this and where we can use this? What is the AMU means? So it is a unit which is used to measure very low masses, that is generally mass is measured with the SI unit is kilogram, CGS unit is gram, that is just about 10 power minus 3 kg is you can be called as a 1 milligram, or 1 gram is 10 power minus 3 kgs. So that is 10 power minus 3 kg. But when you consider these particles masses, elementary particle masses or electron mass, it is 10 power minus 31, right? Or proton mass 10 power minus 27. So these masses are very low values. So these smaller values of these elementary particles masses can be measured in atomic mass units, not in generally the kgs or grams. So the very low masses can be measured by using a unit that is called as the atomic mass unit. So what is the definition of this? So atomic mass unit is defined as, it is the mass of a carbon isotope C612 is a 1 by 12th part of carbon isotope of C612 is called as a 1 atomic mass unit. So here the mass of 1 by 12th of, here it is given by 1 by 12th of mass of carbon isotope, that is C612 is called 1 by 12th of mass of carbon isotope is called, what is that? AMU, atomic mass unit. So that is 1 AMU is equal to, you can write this 1 by 12th of, so mass of carbon isotope, I want to write this value in terms of grams, that is there would have mass number 12. So 12 upon it is Avogadro number, you can get this one is in gram. So now 1 AMU is equal to, you can write this 12 cancel. So 1 upon Avogadro number, it is 6.023 into 10 power 23 is in gram, right? So once you calculated this, you can get this 1 AMU, atomic mass unit, is equal to, I can write this one is 1.660565 into 10 power minus 27 kg. So this is a mass related to 1 atomic mass unit. 1 atomic mass unit is equal to this much amount of the kg, right? So this is what it is called as the atomic mass unit. You can convert all the masses into AMU, where you can be having the masses are very small. You want to convert the mass of the electron into AMU. So mass of the electron you can write this. How much it is? 9.1096. 9.1096 into 10 power minus 31 kg. So that is the mass of electron in kg. You want to write that value in AMU. Divide that in kg or that mass of electron with respect to this. then automatically you will get the value of electron in atomic mass units. Because why we are using or why we are defining this one? Because in this chapter the masses of these particles are that proton or any particles they will be give you in atomic mass units only, not in kgs. So because of that you have to convert that mass, if at all given in kgs, you must be converting into AMU. Thereafter you can be find out the energy calculations. There is some importance is there. So because of that we require to define this atomic mass unit, right? So what is atomic mass unit? It is the mass 1/12th of mass of carbon isotope C612 is called as the AMU, and if you calculated 1 AMU in kgs is given by 1.660565 into 10 power minus 27 kg, right? So this is what you can be observed the first one, atomic mass unit. And there is one more definition is required that is important, that is we can be having here mass defect. It is represented by delta M. It is mass defect. So what is a mass defect? Mass defect. So here you know the number of nucleons present in the nucleus will gives you the mass of the nucleus, right? So that is here how many number of nucleons are present that it can be measured as a mass of the nucleus. Mass of the nucleus. But as an individual if you calculate it, mass of the nucleons is different with related to mass of the nucleus. Why you are getting the difference? Because there is some of the mass is converting into energy. That energy we can call as a binding energy, and that binding energy is used to make the nucleons to bind in the nucleus. So we are not making or we are externally applying the force on the proton and electron, the neutron to bind within the nucleus. We are not giving. But how that energy they can be possessed? How they can be get that from where? Just their interconversion. That is mass to energy is converted, again that energy is converted to interconverted to mass. That is Einstein's mass energy equation can be applicable. So that we'll see afterwards. But here, what is the mass defect? Mass defect is nothing but the difference between the mass of the nucleus and the mass of the nucleons individually. The difference between mass of the nucleus and mass of the nucleons is called as the mass defect, right? So here this mass defect is the difference between mass of nucleons and mass of nucleus. Mass of nucleus is called mass defect. Right? And here how you can write this mass defect for any given nucleus. So according to definition whatever we discussed or I have written on the board, that is it is the difference between the mass of the nucleons and its mass of nucleus. As a whole nucleus mass you can be calculated. Individually you can measure the mass of the each nucleon and get the total number of nucleons and make it to that mass. So there is a difference, variation will be there. That difference is nothing but it is the mass defect, right? So here mass defect is given by, that is a mass defect delta M is equal to, it is mass of the nucleons and mass of the nucleus as a whole. The difference is called as the mass defect. So I can write here Z2 times of mass of proton. This will be total mass of protons in the nucleus plus A minus Z into mass of neutron. So this will gives you mass of nucleons in the nucleus minus mass of nucleus capital Mn. Small mn is mass of neutron. This capital Mn is mass of nucleus. So this difference is what it is called as mass of that is mass difference, which is called mass defect, right? So why this defect or why this difference is there? You should be get same. but it is not a same. Why it is not same? Because some of the mass is converting into energy to make a binding of that energy. The energy required to make the nucleons to be made to split. The nucleus is splitting into nucleons separately, or when the nucleons are made combined, energy is released. That amount of energy, where it will become, that is only coming here. Some of the mass is converting into energy. Because of that, there is a difference is existing, right? So here the mass defect is given by this equation. So the same equation you can write in another way also, just by modifying this one, as here delta M is equal to, I can add here mass of electron and here also subtract a mass of electron. Then there is a simple observation you can be observed. That is Z into Mp plus Z into Me, mass of electron, plus A minus Z into Mn, here minus, this is what you can observe right here, mass of nucleus, right? So mass of nucleus minus, here it is Z times of mass of electron. Here just what I am doing here, adding the mass of electron and subtracting the mass of electron for both. Okay. So this is, you can write that Z is common here into Mp plus Me, and this is mass of protons, A minus Z into Mn minus. So minus if you take in common, what if you get this one is mass of nucleus plus mass of electrons. Mass of nucleus plus mass of electrons is nothing but it is the mass of an atom, right? And what about this one? Mass of proton plus mass of electron, it is a mass of hydrogen, right? So I can write this one is delta M can also be written as here mass defect Z times of mass of hydrogen atom plus A minus Z into mass of neutron minus it is a mass of an atom. So this is also mass defect equation, correct? So this is according to definition you can write mass defect definition will be gives you this equation, correct? So in this, what are the observations we have? Mh mass of hydrogen atom, Z number of protons, that is atomic number, A minus Z, so you are getting number of neutrons, and here mass of that atom, mass of atom, mass of hydrogen atom, Z, A minus Z, number of neutrons, atomic number of protons. So this is also mass defect, this is also mass defect, both are same, just we are modified, right? So what is the mass defect? It is a difference between the mass of the nucleons and its a mass of nucleus is called as a mass defect, and which can be represented as what we have here, right? Now here we discussed AMU, here we discussed mass defect, right? Now here, if this mass defect is this much amount of the mass is converted, difference, the difference between these nucleons and nucleus mass is let it be 1 AMU. Then how much amount of the energy is liberated or maybe absorbed, that is called binding energy. So the binding energy you can be calculated. So that is binding, what is the binding energy and what is the binding energy for mass defect, it is existing for that particular nucleus, right? So next one you can go for, this is atomic mass unit, next go for binding energy. So what is binding energy and how you can be calculated and what is the equation part. So now you can go for this, another one, binding energy, binding energy, it is Be. So binding energy is the energy which is required to make the nucleus is splitting into separate nucleons. So here when the nucleus is splitting to form its individual nucleons, it can be absorbs energy, how much is required, or during that addition, that is the nucleons when they are combined, During that formation, you can get a nucleus. So in that, how much energy is released? So that is called also binding energy. So the amount of energy released during the combination of nucleons, or maybe the amount of energy required to split that nucleus into the individual nucleons is called as the binding energy. So binding energy can be calculated by using the Einstein's mass energy equation. Okay, that is here by Einstein's mass energy equation. You can calculate the binding energy. So that is, you can write here E binding energy is equal to, it is mass defect into square of the velocity of it. That is, binding energy is equal to mass defect into c square. So this is how you can get in joules. So binding energy is equal to, I can write here mass defect is delta m and c square it is in joules. Now here this binding energy we are getting in joules. If you know delta m, that is the mass defect value if you are having, how much mass of the nuclear is converting into the formation of energy. So if you are calculating the mass defect, that is the difference between the number of nucleons with respect to its mass of nucleus, that is mass defect. If you know, you can calculate what is the binding energy. So if this mass defect is related to 1 AMU, mass defect is 1 AMU, then how much amount of the binding energy can be produced or absorbed? So that is here binding energy is equal to, so in place of this delta m, what you have read? 1 AMU. 1 AMU is nothing but what is the mass of 1 AMU? It is 1.660565 into 10 power minus 27 into c square. It is in joule. Now this much amount of the binding energy you can be having. Now if you calculated this energy you want in electron volts, there you can find out here the binding energy. You want to convert these joules into electron volts, you have to divide it by this value with respect to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. There can be calculated. Then this value will be converting into electron volts. So I am writing this binding energy in other units, that is electron volts. You can get this one is 931.5 million electron volts you can liberate. The binding energy can be liberated. How much it will be? The binding energy is liberated are given by, to convert the mass of 1 AMU into energy, you can get this 931.5 million electron volts of energy you can be getting. So this much amount of energy you can be get just conversion of 1 AMU into energy. So this equation is used here as provided by the Einstein's mass energy equation. That is, mass is converting into energy, and energy also again, the radiation is also again converting into mass. That is interconversion between the mass and energy. That is a theory of relativity that is studied and given by this Einstein. And according to this Einstein's mass energy equivalence, we can use this equation as a mass into c square, mc square, E is equal to mc square. So that is Einstein's mass energy equation. So using that equation, we calculated here what is the binding energy. To make a mass effect of how much? 1 AMU. For 1 AMU of mass effect, we can get this much amount of the energy. Right? So you can write this equation as, just you can put here this value to this side. That is, I can write 1 AMU or this c square if you written here, binding energy per c square, this value can be, you can write or this is a constant, just you can calculate binding energy, that is by using mass defect. Right? So this is another important definition. What is the binding energy, how it will be calculated, and what is its value of binding energy per 1 AMU. The mass defect is 1 AMU is there, then how much amount of the energy is liberated or absorbed, that is binding energy we can have here, this is the value. So whenever it is asked to find out the binding energy, you have to calculate first which one? Mass defect you have to calculate. That mass defect should be in atomic mass units. For one atomic mass unit we are getting this much amount of the binding energy. For calculated mass defect in AMUs, you multiply that mass defect with this number, that is 931.5 million electron volts, then you can get the binding energy calculation, right? So this is another definition. And one more is there, packing fraction. So what is the packing fraction definition and its importance, correct? Okay, that we'll see what is the packing fraction. So packing fraction, it is the ratio of mass defect to mass number. Mass defect to mass number of any nucleus, that ratio is called as the packing fraction. So this packing fraction value, based on that the given nucleus is stable or unstable, you can be calculated or identified. So here the definition for this one is the ratio of mass defect to mass number is called packing fraction. So that is here, packing fraction is equal to mass defect upon mass number. So that is, packing fraction is equal to mass defect. So mass defect is, you can write it as m minus a upon a. So m is here the mass of the nucleus and this a is the mass number, that is the total number of nucleons, upon number of nuclei, that is the mass number. So this is what it is called as mass defect, upon it is a mass number, you will get the packing fraction. So packing fraction is equal to mass defect upon mass number. See here, this packing fraction value may be negative, may be 0, may be positive. Depends upon this numerator value. That means here a value is greater than m. That means the mass of the nucleus is less compared to its number of nucleons. There you can get this numerator value is negative, which represents that the mass of the nucleus decreases. It will be less compared to the number of nucleons. The mass of the number of nucleons, which represents that some of the nucleus is converting into energy. So that energy is useful to bind the nucleons, so that the binding energy will be available, because of that the nucleons are bind tightly within the nucleus, so that the nucleus will become stable. So whenever you have this packing fraction is negative values or lower values, packing fraction is negative or you can be saying low value, there the nucleus is stable, right? You can be saying whenever the packing fraction is a negative value, the nucleus is a stable or unstable, you can be saying. If the packing fraction is 0, so it is a low stable, or you can be say it is a, here both are equal, that is 0 packing fraction, 0 means what you can be observed, mass number and mass of the nucleus both are equal. That means is there any mass is converting into energy? No, there is no conversion of energy, means is there any binding energy? No binding energy. No binding energy means is there any binding or the nucleons having the property to bind within the nucleus? There is no binding energy, they cannot be having that property, so that the stability will be less. So here when we have the packing fraction is 0 or greater than 1, greater than or positive values, there you can be observed that nucleus is unstable or low stability. You can be observed here low stability, low stable or unstable, you can be seen. That is when you can be observed when the packing fraction is equal to 0 or maybe it is a positive 0 or it is positive, you can be saying the low stability or unstable the nucleus belongs to. You can be having only when the packing fraction value is negative, then only we can be say that nucleus is a stable nucleus, right? So the stability of nucleus is, we can decide by knowing the value of packing fraction. The value may be positive, it is unstable, 0 unstable, If it is a packing fraction is a negative, there is a stable. Why it is a stable? Because here sum of the mass is converting into energy. Binding energy is a given. So because of the binding energy, the nucleons are made bend within the nucleus, so that the nucleus become as a stable nucleus, right? So that we'll see afterwards. But here, what is the importance of this packing fraction? The packing fraction value is decides that the given nucleus is stable or unstable. Okay, that is observable by knowing the value of packing fraction. If it is a negative value is there for packing fraction, it is gives you the stability of nucleus is exist. The nucleus is a stable. If that packing fraction is positive or zero, the nucleus is unstable or low stability, right? So that is observed based on the value of packing fraction, right? So we discussed some of the definitions like AMU, right? What is the atomic mass unit? Next, mass defect. Next, we discuss binding energy, and I given one more, that is packing fraction, right? So these are the definitions. By using this, we can study about the nucleus, whether the nucleus is a stable nucleus or unstable. That we can be studied, that we can be observed in the next class.